Welcome in, everybody. I am your host, Sportsify, Matt Novak. Alongside me, as always, Grant Hawker.
Let's go! We're back, baby! Season 5! Let's go! Are you ready for some football? Because I am.
He wasn't lying.
Sure.
I told you.
That was something.
Man of his
Grant
word,
true to
Grant
his
Hawker.
word. Grant true to his word.
On the third mic is Jamison Dufour rocking the retro
Football, baby.
hookah.
We're so bad.
Yeah,
right.
retro as of a year ago.
And then joining us is our good buddy Mike Connor. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Just San Francisco seems to be floating like some AI thing going on. It's kind of weird, but I like it.
Dude, I am super ready to get into a few things regarding all of our I'm not wearing my merch today, my bad, but all of the new jerseys that came out this week, the rival jerseys, like want to talk about it in just a minute.
It came out
we got a whole
today
bunch of
as
stuff.
we were recording this.
This
morning.
I mean, they were coming out today. Yeah, a few of them leaked a couple days ago.
I think
saw
so.
the Bills earlier this week, and then I know our NFC West ones were coming out. I think we all saw them today, correct, Jamison? Yeah, so I know we'll get into that in just a moment, but man, it has been an off season. Lots of big changes, lots of stuff that we're going to cover. We have been absent since really the draft, and other than just a few hits on social media. So we're pumped to get into all of it. We're going to break down here in our preseason preview, our preview of the season. There we go. Words are hard, people. Forgive us. We're getting back into the flow. We're going to break down every division. So we're going to talk about your team today and through these next couple episodes for sure. And then as we ramp up to this next week, we're going to be hitting with a whole bunch of stuff. So we're super pumped. Now more than ever going to be present and available to engage in the discussion with you guys. Bring the discussion to us. We want to hear from you. Give us feedback on our social posts. Let us know what you think about Grant's insane takes. It's usually him who's out in the weeds for sure.
Let's go.
Others on this podcast like to speak truth, and some people just like to shoot from the hip and just say some stuff.
It's more exciting. It's more exciting. It's more fun that way.
Sure. And so we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff as we go into the season, but I want to get to what dropped today. Because this one today, as we are recording, Thursday, August 28th, became very real. We'd heard speculation for an entire month that there was a ton of unrest going on down south on the Star in Dallas. And today,
America's team.
Jerry Jones is still Jerry Jones, and his ego knows no end. It absolutely knows no end. That guy shipped the one and only Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, a team that he has historically sucked at beating, by the way, in the playoffs. I gave him up for 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle. I knew that we were starting at 2 first-round picks. I absolutely knew that was the base of what was going to happen. Can't believe that the Cowboys didn't wait this one out to try and fleece somebody. And also, of course, Jerry Jones lets him go to a contender in the NFC.
That's the dumbest part.
It is.
The NFC. Like, I thought for sure AFC. I thought for sure a team that was like a Bills team. I don't know, something. The NFC? How stupid.
And it's the Packers of all.
And it's the
NFC
Packers.
teams.
It's not the Eagles. I'll say that.
That was probably
sure.
Or the Commanders. Other than
was
that,
probably the other call they took, though.
Probably.
I mean,
But outside of the Eagles or Commanders, this is the dumbest place to send him to, probably.
don't disagree. I don't understand why you do it. Now, the Packers gave up quite a bit, as anybody would have to get him. If you guys remember the Khalil Mack trade, there's a huge precedent on what it takes to get a Hall of Fame defensive end and or just pass rusher. This does somewhat mirror that, although Khalil Mack trade was technically more involved. But they gave up a lot to get him. But what didn't happen in that Khalil Mack trade was the extent of salary cap that just got taken up for the Packers, because they gave up, holy cow, 120 for sure guaranteed. Really, there's roster bonuses that make it 136 guaranteed over the 4 years. But It is 108. Oh, I don't have the number in front of me now. Is it 188?
188.
It's like
Over whatever
seasons.
is 47 annually or something like that.
That is 47. That is the highest paid for a non-QB player of all time. Not close.
It absolutely, like, it goes $6 million plus above the TJ Watt contract, which we're going to talk about here in the Steelers preview. The $7 million annually above Myles Garrett. I mean, these contracts have gotten insane this last year. We know that they're going to go up every year. Okay, it's just going to keep happening. I was actually talking to somebody today about how insane contracts are getting, and I told this individual a little while ago. I said, "Man, you got to understand, in your lifetime," and this guy's probably about 50 to 55 years old. I said, "In your lifetime, you're going to see a quarterback sign a contract for $100 million annually." That's where we're getting to. And people are like, oh, that'll never happen. Well, there's already an athlete making $100 million in a different sport. His name is Ronaldo, every single season. So the precedent's set. It's coming.
Well, and the NFL just keeps expanding. How many more games are we seeing nationally that are going international? Like, the base is growing. That means more money is coming in. So that way teams are going to be able to afford doing something like this in the future. Absolutely.
This is changing, though, the face of the sport and sports. We've already seen, too, by the way, NBA contracts creeping up into that $50 million plus range. That's already happening. Yeah. So when people are like, oh, this shouldn't happen, it shouldn't be happening, well, get mad at the other sports first. The NFL is following suit. But the percentage of cap that it's going to be taking up is considerable when you think about how many other players these teams have to pay, as opposed to, other sports have to pay their individuals, as opposed to the NFL, which has 40 or 53 on the active roster, 51 that count towards their cap. And, you look at the percentage of that cap limit, which we understand that the cap isn't real and it's all made up. And we talk about that on this podcast. It really isn't real, guys. Like, legitimately, don't use $70 million of your cap this year. Next year, you have 140 in excess because it doubles.
Because it rolls over
1 year. Yeah. 49ers have been working that trick for the last several years. As long as they close the cap year with a plus, it doubles up to the next year and they just carry over. You let a couple of your decent players go. You get compensatory picks. You get to redo your stables with rookies. All this crazy stuff happens and the cap becomes meh, because you can also add on void years. What are void years? Well, void years are the back ends of contracts. Don't count towards literally anything while the player's playing. And then when they're off the contract, you get to spread out their money even a little bit more. There's all kinds of magic that gets worked, and I get that. But that is a ton of magic that they're going to have to work for everybody else on that squad. And that team historically does not pay people. They're now paying quarterback crazy money and a pass rusher crazy money. Also, I get that everybody needs to be a fit wherever they go. Micah doesn't necessarily fit the traditional Green Bay scheme, so that's going to be interesting. But I don't want to go all the way into just what's going to happen in Green Bay. I do want to talk about how that impacts Dallas and the fact that they're going to suck, because I'm so happy about it. I hate that team with all that I am. Mm-hmm. I genuinely hate their guts. And I am so happy that they're going to be terrible. It brings joy to my heart. This isn't the Yankees losing, but like, it's really, really close for me. So I'm super excited about their season, and Dak is going to get murdered at some point and not be playing football again. Not wishing ill on him, but it's going to happen because that team's not very good. And genuinely, when you have a not good defense and a quarterback that only plays sometimes, your team usually sucks. So that's what's about to happen down in Dallas.
Well, Matt, just real quick, just to continue on what you saying about $100 million per year quarterback. Since 2020, the highest paid quarterback market, like that market, has surged by 33% since 2020, where the rising from $45 million, that was the top of the market, to just in 5 years, it's risen up $15 million. The highest paid is now $60 million. So you keep adding that and adding that and adding it. We're going to see it before we know it. 100%.
Well, and let's just say that trend continued over another 5 years. If we're averaging around 30 to 33% of that, that's $20 million.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Do you think that somehow it's going to be less expensive, or people are going to ask for less money? Like, no. What world are you living in? Absolutely.
And also, I think another key piece of this is, we compare it to some of the other contracts that we've seen recently for, similar pass rushing kinds of positions. You know, the TJ Watts having 41 million, Myles Garrett signing 40 million. Those are both guys who are 30 years old, just about, if not 30 years old, and Micah Parsons just turned 26. This deal for him is going to be over by the time he's the same age as the guys who are getting that money. And I think, again, if we take that same logic, 33% over the last 5 years, by the time this deal is nearing its end in another 4 years or so, I think it's actually going to start looking pretty good. Obviously, it's a pretty jaw-dropping number now, but I still even think, Micah Parsons at his age, TJ Watt just signed that contract this summer, last month in July, for $41 million. And this guy is maybe not quite, peak TJ Watt, but he's 26 in the heart of his prime. And so, to go $6 million over that annually, you do it.
Wild.
You just do it.
And to put that in perspective, as what you're saying, how it gaps out like that is what Nick Bosa's on his third year of his record-setting contract. And he's like 15 million a year behind what Parsons is getting now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that, like it quickly gets just overshadowed completely. Like I was just looking at the list today of like who's the top paid non-QBs. Bosa's down at like number 9 or 10. A couple years ago, he was number 1. Right. So like it just easily it just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. And really you gotta. Somebody was talking to me, or I was talking to somebody about it, and the best perspective for like all these contracts is actually like looking at percentage of salary cap is the best way to look at these. And that's why you're looking at like Parsons here in the next couple of years. If the salary cap keeps getting bigger, his percentage of what he's getting is getting lower and lower, and the available money for the rest of the team gets more and more. So it's really not that big of a hit. And you're right. He's 26. They've signed him until he's 30. Like this is in his prime. This is the dude that is on, on the team of tradition. He's got the same rookie numbers and starting numbers as the great white of Green Bay. And now he's a Green Bay Packer. Like it's mind boggling that the Dallas Cowboys didn't sign him last year for like $20 million less of a year, basically is what they could have got him for, right? Or 15 or whatever it was. Like, how did the Cowboys not take care of this kind of business last year?
Well,
and they get to a point where they have to trade him. Like, there's a point where they're like, well, we're not paying you what you want. And Parsons is like, well, I could sit out and make way more money. I'm fine.
Well, and it's just like what Matt said. It's ego. Like, until Jerry Jones stops, which he won't. He said he's gonna own this team and be the general manager until he's dead. Like they're always gonna do.
I hope he never dies. I hope he never dies.
Me neither. Me neither.
He is quoted a million times over saying, "Who can do what I do?"
No one.
Well, I'll tell you this:
no one, buddy.
Green Bay. The irony is not lost on me that Green Bay is also the only team in the NFL without an owner, and the Cowboys have the most destructive owner in the league. Ironically, are also their franchise worth is like 13 billion, which is like 3 billion more than second place in value. And here we are. Like, if anything, you look through the history of the biggest franchises, the Celtics, the Lakers, the Cowboys. It's like, if anything, those are the places that pay their guys because that's why they're worth what they're worth. And like their value might not always be tied to winning, but a lot of times it's tied to the spectacle of the Dallas Cowboys. And we still find ourselves in a place here where, again, to Mike's point, like this guy is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I think in the first 4 years so far, he's like 6th all time in sacks. He's got like, 52 and a half sacks or something like that already in his career. And it's just, I mean, it's so rich. It is so rich that we have actually gotten to this point. And the smoke and mirrors of, playing like the WWE scripts of the Dallas, the Emmitt Smith stuff back in the day, everything that has basically happened with contracts in Dallas has finally gotten to a point where, a position valued like this in this modern day NFL is okay. Bye-bye. I'm going to go over to the Packers.
But Jameson, here's where I think you're being really generous to the Cowboys, because when you name the Lakers and the Celtics, they've won championships within the last 5 years. It's been over 30 since the Cowboys.
That's fair. I mean, not everybody can be, like the Rams or the Seahawks and like win, in this century kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Some teams just stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Well, I think it is going to be really interesting, though. I know a lot of teams are doing this with these premier players. We've seen the 49ers, as Mike just mentioned, paid Bosa. They just had to pay Brock. That was a huge chunk this year, although they did some cap magic. Like, what is the number, Mike? Is it 7 or 9 million that's on salary cap for Brock this year?
For this year, it's only like 7.5, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Again, it's not real. But you look at the percentage of cap hit that Jordan Love and now Micah Parsons are going to take, it's actually terrifyingly close to 50%. Like, actually, like if you just look at the salary number, that's what it is. I know that that's not what's actually going to hit the cap this year. They're stacking these. So Jordan took a lot of that cap hit up front while they were in the low. And so that's a huge deal because it opened this up, and they're going to stack Micah's cap hit on the back end. So it'll kind of leverage out, but there's going to be one real bad year, just for the record. They're going to be over 50% for 1 year, and then it'll come back down after that. So they'll probably just restructure when they get to that. That's what most NFL teams do. And there's a whole bunch of things to do, including those aforementioned void years. But dude, it's legit like almost 50% between the two of them on the one bad year. So it's going to be gymnastics, but I love that this is what this sport does. You got to do a lot of research if you really want to understand what's happening in the NFL and all these moves. But I love that his ego got in the way today down in Dallas, and they shipped him out. I love that he also admitted this week, 30 years later, when Jimmy Johnson and I parted ways, I let my ego get in the way. He said that out loud this week.
When I was a young man in my late 60s.
Guys, he's grown. He's changed. I mean, obviously, you recognize that, and you would think that someone who understood that would, have some championships, and they've grown and matured. Oh wait. Oops.
So we'll come back to that when we get to the previews. We'll talk about the impact on those specific teams as we're discussing them. But I wanted to hit those rival jerseys this week because I liked several of them, including I love my teams. We got black with the old school gold and red highlights on the numbers. I love that one. There was a few that kind of stood out though. I thought the Bills white uniforms was a brave choice, but
dude,
for
their whiteout uniforms looks so good.
Looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the same way. Like anytime you can do like an icy like whiteout jersey. I mean, same thing with like the Bengals white.
The Vikings, they're all white.
The Vikings, and then these ones are also I think super clean. And honestly, credit where credit's due. I do, as much as I'm a Niners hater, I do actually like those unis.
Well, I think
they work.
There's an 85 or a 54 coming to my house,
dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a Kittle, and I think I'm pretty sure. I don't normally buy jerseys. But I'm definitely going to give me something.
I also just really love the font specifically that they use for the numbering on those jerseys. I think it's super clean.
Well, it's our old school vibe. I think we should maybe enlist our fashion correspondent, Brittany Dunn, who did some work for us at the draft and all the fits there, did a rankings for us. I think we may need to have her weigh in on this one. That would be super valuable, but I do gotta say, like overall, I mean, won't lie. Yours are the Rams one looks a little mid to me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't elite.
The Rams one looks safe.
I want to see it on field, and it's gonna be fine. I know they went with the whole like navy, but like midnight navy situation. It looks too close to just being like an all black uni to me.
It just looks like they just took the white from the one you're wearing right now and just put black on it instead. That's what it looks like from the pictures.
They should have stuck, in my opinion, closer to like the St. Louis navy blue. And I'm a gradient hater on a jersey till the day I die, which is why I don't love our regular home unis and like the gradient white, yellow, thing going on there. And they do the same thing on the shoulders on this one where it's got that lighter blue gradient. But I mean, at the end of the day, I agree, Mike. They're safe. They're fine. I don't love them. I don't hate them. But it is what it is. Those are probably, aside from like the Bills and the Niners, I don't know if I love a ton of them, to be honest.
Dude,
with you.
I think the Seahawks one is the worst. I think it's trash. It's straight up.
It's okay. The one thing I'm going to give it, I looked at it in detail after you said that, or in our group text earlier, but I do really like the detail of the 12 in the numbers.
I like that. But
they put the number 12 inside the numbers, like it's really, really tiny. But that's kind of a cool
like the reflective part is the 12. Yeah.
But honestly, like we said, like 100%, if you know the Oregon Ducks, it definitely looks like an Oregon Duck jersey. Which I like the Oregon. I like the Oregon Ducks. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. But
it looks like it's got the tread on the shoulders.
But dude, there was so many like cooler looking like fan ones that I was seeing that looked way cooler. Ones that had like the Space Needle worked in there, or like some pine trees for the Pacific Northwest, something like that.
I don't understand why like major companies don't take those fan submissions and let us vote.
Yes,
like
for
why
all
is it they're more if it's the alt jersey anyway, we're only going to see it maybe twice in a year. Why don't we get to vote?
Yeah,
let democracy win, people.
The downfall of NFL jerseys under Nike has to be studied. It's like there are so many bad jerseys now because Nike wants to do this like stupid minimalistic approach. And then meanwhile, you have like anytime, again, not a Seahawks guy at all, but anytime the Seahawks wear those retro unis,
make them the permanent ones,
like,
please.
I get like a little tear in my eye because they're just like so clean.
They're so good. Those throwbacks need to be their permanent ones. Get rid of this navy one, make that the permanent. But like, too, the thing that I really was disappointed with was that I've wanted an all black, like a blackout jersey for the Seahawks. I think it'd be clean, do something like that. And what they did, they had like the wolf gray jerseys, what they were, and they got rid of those when the NFL you had to shrink down how many jerseys you could have. They got rid of them. Then they just brought them back and put. That's not feathers, it's sound waves because of the Beastquake and that's what it is. That's what the things on the shoulder are. They're sound waves, bro. And they just put that on their gray jerseys, which they got rid of like 2 years ago. And I'm like, that's the best you come up with? You're hyping it up. You're showing all the player reactions to like, oh, that's clean. And I'm like, really? You just brought back
there's a lot. There was definitely a lot in the middle. I thought New England was in the middle. The Browns are in the middle.
New England is they're fine to me.
Those are the Cardinals, not the Browns.
What's that?
It's the Cardinals.
That's the Cardinals jersey, not the Browns.
No,
they're Sandblast or whatever the heck they're calling
it.
Yeah, graphic design is my passion.
Cool. It's original, but nah.
It looks like a robin's egg to me. I don't know.
But again,
spotted robin's egg.
Yeah, no, it does. It totally does.
But again, with the Cardinals one, it's the sand. They're in the desert. It's Arizona. That makes sense. Like it's showing off like where they're from.
Yeah, no, I would say
I like the Dolphins one. The Dolphin one looks clean, but I think it's because the Dolphins colors just look clean.
Yeah,
I mean
the Dolphins colors
that
are
teal
just
with the
already
orange,
so fire.
Yeah,
it just works so well with that deep blue on top. But
the Dolphins color scheme is underrated.
It's true. I think if you look at these, our favorites, I would say, is like the Niners and the Bills. They're the ones that took the biggest chance here, and the rest of them were kind of like, here's a little safe. And I'm like, I hope jersey sales.
The Bills was the biggest chance.
I don't know if the Niners one was a big chance because they already had those color rush that were the all black with the red, like a few years ago. They've done the all
big
black
number change. It's the big number change.
Numbers.
Yeah,
right.
The numbers
and the change on
and you don't see that on the rest of them. The numbers are kind of the same on all.
Did they do all black helmets too when they did their?
No, because the helmet,
because the helmets also look super clean to me.
Yeah, because the helmets are black with a gold face mask, and it's gonna pop. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a gold helmet. But we loved those ones too. Those were great. Glad they brought it back and then did some throwback things to it. But I thought the Bills with the whole like Nickel City thing, like all that looks. It was a chance.
You see the design on the side. It's all like looks like ice chips. Mm-hmm. And stuff on the Bills, like the detail on the Bills is phenomenal. Like it's so good.
It's really, so good. Really good. I honestly like. I know I love my Niner one, but it might be the Bills jersey might be my favorite, just out of the groups we've seen so far. So, but no, those are super cool. Glad the NFL is making a little bit of a change. I think it's fun to just change it up, try some new stuff. When it works out, it's great. Those color rush hits a couple years ago.
I liked the color rush. A lot of people were haters. I liked the color rush.
That's because many of them were the only people that liked your highlighter jerseys.
No. I've specified. I like the green with the blue pants. Okay. I don't like the all green.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't love our color rush because it was like the all gold, but it's like the yellowy gold that I didn't love, even though it did produce one of the best football games in the regular season I've ever seen, which was that Chiefs-Rams game, because they both had their color rush. It was the ketchup mustard game.
Yep.
Yeah, but But otherwise, yeah, I haven't really loved those either.
I will say that those color rush grants, all the highlighter ones you guys had, is the reason my 7-year-old is a Seahawks fan. He loves that highlighter color, and that's the why I'm like, yeah, okay.
Target
whatever,
audience, 7-year-old.
7-year-old. If that was what they're shooting for, man,
they got it. They got it. Neon green.
They're fishing that way. I know we already hit this, so I guess it's outside of this. I want to ask you all guys all this question. What was outside of Micah Parsons? Because that is, I can't think of anything that was a bigger deal than that. Nobody else offered up 2 1s. What was your biggest surprise of the offseason? What's something that caught you and you're like, oh man, wow. And, I know we probably all looked at our phones because we like to do this thing where we all play Adam Schefter in our group chat. And what was the time that, somebody else dropped one in there and you were like, oh, dang.
Who wants to go first? I mean, I think mine's pretty obvious, so maybe I'll just get it out of the way. It's Davante Adams going to the Rams. Obviously, it's not like right now, some of the Stafford question marks on his health, it like feels like it's a little less consequential than it was when it initially happened. But that is still, for me, it's like, okay, we get rid of Kupp, which was, a heartbreak in and of itself. But then to have that turn around and and he goes to the Seahawks, big whoop there.
He goes home. That's fine.
He goes home. I mean, it's a betrayal beyond words, frankly, but when that void was filled by Davante Adams, just the thought of him lining up in the X and then having, Puka doing what he's doing, it made things a little bit easier to digest. And so that's my personal number one, just because of the, the connection there to the Rams, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I have to go with that one. It would be sacrilegious for me not to.
Mike?
Some of the contracts that were signed are kind of some of the big, like, I didn't necessarily think Watt was going to get as much as he did. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he was going to push it as much as he did because of his injury history. But then you look at it, but I think honestly one of the biggest surprise is the whole Steelers team itself. Oh, taking all that out of just looking at it from the outside is like Aaron Rodgers. Like, you took your whole offseason and set it aside just to wait for Aaron Rodgers. Like, you saw that even in the draft. They're like, well, we think we're getting Aaron Rodgers, so we're just gonna wait and wait and wait. And then let's go ahead and get rid of our receiver and get another guy that's just as tall or whatever and a little more physical, but like they play the same way. Like, so why'd you get rid of that guy if you're just going to bring in DK Metcalf and give him a bigger contract anyway? Yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like, some of that dichotomy for the Steelers of like, what are they doing? Like, they don't seem to be planning for like the future. They seem to be planning for now, and they're still just like a 9-10 win team at best.
Hey, well, we're going to get into that.
And that's my biggest. Yeah, I know, I understand that. But the biggest offseason moves would be that Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Watt,
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you guys want to blow the lid off of what I'm going to talk about later, keep mentioning all these
That's my
names.
biggest surprises.
Okay. All right, Grant.
I guess my biggest surprise, I'll sum it up as this, is a traditionally great conservative team completely went off the rails from what they normally do. That's the biggest surprise for me, I think. Yeah. So,
I mean, I've got a few. First one I go is, the giant middle finger that the NFL gave to the Sanders family with Shador, and that just in general, just like the collective,
Shiloh.
Just the collective, just double bird that they just gave to that family. It was quite surprising. Not that Shador fell, but that he fell that far, and then like the fifth round. So that was definitely a shock. The other one that I go just real quick is Brian Schottenheimer to the Cowboys, like a perennial offensive coordinator, who's okay and fine, to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is crazy. But then obviously I got to go with, kind of like echo Jamison. I got to go my team, like completely turning things upside down. Like, I don't know if there was a bigger shakeup in terms of on an offense than you lose two, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Geno Smith, and you do all of that within the span of a week. Like, a week, you completely upend that. but then also in the same time, you then sign Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp. You do all of that within the span of like 6 or 7 days. Is just crazy. And so I think that, and I think, for better or for worse, it's up for debate, but I think that's just like a shock, them doing all of that the way they did, and that quick. It was very clear that they had a plan, and that's what they wanted to do. So I think that.
I'll take just a slightly different path and say this happened after the regular season ended, but the NFL season wasn't concluded. I thought what the Raiders are doing with Pete Carroll, just giving institutional control to a man who's over 70 years old is a big deal. But Pete being able to bring all these pieces together and make something really function. And I mean that from the coaching staff. He stole Chip Kelly after the national title game from Ohio State, got him to come in and be the O coordinator, which is his bread and butter. He needs to stay in that role. And I brought in Gino because he wants this consistency with his offense that he knows Gino's going to provide, especially
Gino's
in the short
guy.
passing game.
Like, that's very clear.
Yep.
They both spoke highly of each other.
And then I think he did the most Pete Carroll thing of all time and went and got a battering ram in the first round. And I think it was a surprise to see that actually happen. We all assumed Pete Carroll was done. We understand that in the world we live in, sometimes age really is just a number, but the world doesn't seem to favor the old and the really, really young. Like, it just kind of seems like, once you hit a certain point, you got to check out and just be a voice in the background and mentor and come alongside. So we thought that's what was happening. And so to see the Raiders do what they've done, it's been really interesting. And, I'm around Raider fans all the time where I work. So there's a lot of discussions about what the Raiders are doing. Jacoby Myers this last week was definitely a conversation we were having. But I just really like it. Honestly, overall, I thought they've been steady and doing the right things, and that is not something that you see the Raiders do often. So that's been the big surprise, or one of the biggest surprises for me.
And he hasn't lost, or at least been how do I want to frame this? One fewer than 7 games Pete Carroll has for 30 years or something. So your floor instantly raised on top of all of those other roster moves. I do want to say, because we were all there to experience it together, my honorable mention would be the Jaguars trading up and drafting Travis Hunter. Was okay, we're in the draft now, because we knew Cam Ward was going where he was going, and that was kind of signed, sealed, delivered. But to watch that in real time was kind of here's all of us are together in real life shake up at the NFL draft right here, right now. Okay, let's go. I thought that was also a pretty notable moment.
Yeah. Did you guys see the video? Just going back to Pete Carroll real quick, of him doing suicides on the sideline at the Raiders practice. And I'm like, the guy's 70. The guy's 74, and he's doing suicides better than I would. I'm not even gonna lie.
Bro, he's insane.
It's so nuts.
Yeah. The other. Oh, dang it! I was just gonna jump into something. Brain farted hard. Dang it. I had a really good angle, man.
First episode of the season, it happened.
We're getting our feet under us.
It's all good.
Preseason game.
Yeah, we've
got a ton to dive into, though, and we want to get to it here in our coming episodes. So we're super pumped for this season. We're going to be here every single week, breaking down the week that was and projecting the week that's coming, talking about all of it. Every now and then I'll be nice to you and talk about fantasy football in case you suck at it. We'll give you a few heads up here and there. But we've got some episodes to break down tonight. We're going to get into every division in the NFL, and we're going to bring it right to your doorstep. So buckle up and join us for the ride that is the 2025 NFL season.